Welcome to the Nova Wealth Show. I am your host, Amy Novakovich.
And I'm Jim Novakovich. We're a husband and wife team and co-founders of Nova Wealth Management.
We also teach you how to build wealth, advise you how to keep it, and how not to get taken advantage of. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to the Nova Wealth Show. I am your host, Amy Novakovich. Follow us on Twitter at Nova Wealth Management. Management's abbreviated, MGMT. Or me personally at Novakovich Amy. Also, go to our Facebook page and check out our Facebook Lives every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We do a Finance Friday, message us topics. We do all kinds of crazy stuff there. And then also go to our YouTube channel, subscribe there for little 90-second to 2-minute videos on quick tips that you can also find on our website. So this is a podcast where we transform your relationship with your money, therefore transforming your life. We are always trying to come up with ways to help you save, protect, and grow your money. And in this episode that we're going to do, we were at a charity event that we sponsored out in LA. City Gala is the name of the charity. Check it out if you want to be charitable this year. And I had the opportunity to do some interviews on the red carpet. So these are big business owners, people that are building a business, people that are selling a business or already have sold their business. And in addition, some of the names you'll know, actually. Jack Canfield is the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and Jeff Hoffman, co-founder of Priceline. So there's some big names here, and I asked them some of their best business tips. And if you're either thinking of going into business, already are in business, or thinking of selling your business, this will be a great podcast for you to get some quick tips from the best of the best. There was no better than the people at this convention. It was awesome. So enjoy the interviews. Jeff Hoffman, co-founder of Priceline. So I have seen you speak actually at Digital Footprint.
Uh-huh.
You are
love that event as well. Well, thank you very much.
I'm so looking forward to it. So I'm Amy Novakovich. I'm one of the presenting sponsors.
Yep.
So I'm not in media. So I'm looking forward to hearing in business. So there's a difference between selling like a service, like especially like in Priceline, and then selling like a product, a physical product. So I'm so curious what you recommend to people selling a service, like selling trust. How do we get past that? You know what I mean? How do you sell that service?
Selling a service, I think, requires a whole deeper level of customer intimacy. You really have to know who you're selling to and everything about them. What they want, how they want it, why are they buying it. You are absolutely right. Customer intimacy is much more important, is getting inside the mind, living a day in the life of that person that you're trying to sell something to. We literally do that. We will leave the office and go hang out where those customers hang out and try to figure out what do they worry about, what do they care about, what are they thinking about, what problems do they deal with that we don't know about. The deeper you get into a day in the life of that customer, the easier it is to sell them a service because you understand literally what their pains are.
That's amazing. And you do a lot of business consulting now, right?
I do,
you work
yeah.
with all businesses of
Yes.
different shapes and sizes, right?
With a focus on scale, trying to help people grow their business.
That's awesome. So your whole impact, like what is the most, and what do you enjoy most about what you do now?
I enjoy the ripple effect. I enjoy watching people, when you get a chance to mentor somebody and help them change their life, then watching them go impact other people and send that ripple effect. That's what I like. It's when I meet someone that I worked with who's successful, and then I meet someone else and it says, she actually mentored me, right? And someone will meet me and say, I don't know them, and she say, well, I know you through so-and-so because you mentored her and then she mentored me. I love seeing that pay it forward effect. It's really cool.
And so now as a business owner, I have kind of a different question for you, and I guarantee you haven't been asked this yet. So there's a lot, and I've been talking to a lot of people at this conference. There's a lot of people in like common jobs. So there's a lot of realtors and a lot of business coaches and a lot of financial advisors, which is what I am. So how do people like us break in to work with people like you?
The simple answer, and it's going to sound painfully simple, but no one does it, is be bold, right? People, I used to have a friend that was the prettiest girl in our school. She was voted that every year. And every Friday at the dance, she would say, can you take me to the dance? I'd say, why? You must have a million dates. She said, yeah, because everybody thinks that everybody else reached out to me, so no one ever reaches out to me. No one ever asks me because they assume everyone does, or they assume I'll say no. It's the same in business, right? A lot of times people say he'll never answer me, so they don't reach out to people. And sometimes you'll find out, you'll ask someone, how'd you guys get this relationship? And the person will say, he just called me or emailed me. He just asked. be bold and reach out and connect with people on some common ground. It really works.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I think that was that's probably the most valuable thing I've heard all
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we are here at City Summit in Hollywood, California. If you can hear the craziness going on, I'm sure you can, but we're going to try to do this anyways because I'm here with Dr. Kara Scott Denton, and I heard you speak 2 nights ago. She was on a panel and offered some awesome insight. If you could, give us some quick tips that you give your clients. How do you make the biggest impact?
I think the main thing is to always just be comfortable where you're at. It doesn't mean that you don't set goals, but you understand where you're at, because if you don't know that, then you definitely don't know how to get to where you're going or where you're going. So the main thing is be present. Be present at every moment, because you can miss something if you're not. And always appreciate people that are around you. Nobody is guaranteed anything. Nobody's guaranteed people. Nobody is obligated to do anything for you, with you. So when they do, you be appreciative. Thank people. Always, every single day, ground yourself so that you can just receive what the day has for you, what God has for you, and then you can sleep well at night, and then you will just appreciate the next day as you roll into it.
And tell people how they can find you and when they should reach out to you.
You can find me. You can email me at Kara, K-A-R-A, at Inspired to Speak. That's INSPIRED. The number 2, Speak, SPEAK.com. I'm also on social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Kara Scott Dentley and Kara Scott. Reach out to me. I have a women's empowerment call. It started as a women's empowerment call, but it evolved to an everybody empowerment call, because everybody's looking for that ray of hope. And that's what we offer, because it's possible for everybody, because what's possible in life is possible in your life.
So now I have a totally different question to ask you, because I am actually a business owner. I'm one of the presenting sponsors, so I'm not in media. So my question to you is, so for people like us that offer a service, so there's a lot of realtors here, there's a lot of business coaches here, and then I'm a financial advisor. How do people like us get to earn the business of people like you?
Well, you know what? Always just show up. We always say that 80, some people say 90% of success is in showing up. Be there, be around people, be open, be transparent. Show up, and not really with your hand out. If your hand is out, have your hand out ready to give. And you will receive. A lot of times people say, well, how do I make it to the top? You make it to the top by helping and serving a lot of people.
And that's why we're here. This is an awesome event. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy that I get to interview you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Look at this beautiful family. Oh my gosh, this is the Dentley family. And this is, if you can, please tell me a little bit about, like, how did you get, is your whole family involved in your business?
Yeah.
Oh my
Actually, they
goodness.
are, yeah.
And you guys don't argue?
Never.
And you don't fight?
I never won an argument, so why start?
Oh my gosh. I need to teach my husband how to do this. I work with my husband. Tell me a little bit about what your company does and how you make a difference.
Well, our company is NBC University, Networking, Business Building, and Coaching, and we work with entrepreneurs, and we actually make public speaking easy and teach people how to get platform ready inside of 5 days working with us, and actually put them on stages. They better share their story, their message, monetize their gifts, and get them out to the world. And we attach all of our businesses, all of our speakers with a nonprofit. Already always amazing.
Now that is going to make a difference, attaching everybody to a nonprofit. That is absolutely one way. So tell me a little bit about when you guys speak to business owners or when you speak to your clients, how do you find what their passion is? Like, you have to kind of get it out of people sometimes. How do you dig into that?
You have to ask better questions. The key is to ask questions and really find out. There's 2 things I want to find out from everyone I work with.
Okay.
What do you do and what do you value? And why do you want to do it? Why? Why do you want to do it? What's to attach to your heart? Where's your life purpose? And it's really a journey for most people because they really don't know what they want. So helping people find clarity is a process we take them through. To help them find clarity by continuously ask the question repeatedly, what do you want? And then what's next? Now what do you want? Now what do you want? Yeah.
Thank you so much. James Dentley, this is an amazing family. Anything else you want to say?
I'm happy to be here. You've heard from me before. It's every single piece, it all falls together if you just go through the process. Don't try to cheat the process, and everything is okay. Everything is okay.
Thank you guys so much for being here. You're an amazing family. Look forward to yes. There you go. Oh, that was a good plug. Hi, welcome to the Nova Wealth Show. We are here in LA, California at the City Summit. This is so awesome. I'm here with Aaron Young, this is like so crazy to be here with you because I've seen Aaron speak. He's an amazing speaker, but you are like a man of all trades. Like, I mean, what's your favorite thing that you do?
My favorite thing I do is be a husband and a dad and a grandpa.
Well,
that's
nice.
the best thing. But as far as business is concerned, I think
Chairman of Laughlin Associates.
Yeah, I'm chairman of Laughlin Associates.
Yes.
We work with many tens of thousands of business owners to help them build safe, secure businesses that are real companies that they can sell or they can pass down. And we mostly want to make sure those companies are protected. Well, they're from lawsuits, from audits, and all that sort of thing. We've been doing that for 46
you might know a thing
years.
or two about that, huh?
We've done, yes. I would say the thing that I love the most
Yes.
is when I turned 50. I'm 53 now. When I turned,
amazing,
thank
by
you.
the
When I turned 50, I kind of thought, I've learned a lot of things over my life, and I wonder if I could help some other business owners. I don't want to say shortcut, but maybe fast track their
Get
success.
to where you've been.
And not have to make all the mistakes. And
There
so
you go.
about 2 years ago, I created my very first ever class, and it's called the Unshackled Owner.
The Unshackled
And it's
Owner.
all about
I like
it's all
that.
about the process I've used over a dozen times to build multi-million-dollar companies where I don't have to be there all the time working.
Can you give us one of those? Let's talk about one.
One thing
tip
you
that-
do?
One thing you do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the one place where most people screw it up
Yeah. Well.
is the founder makes themselves the most critical employee of the company.
Oh, I see that all the time.
So they have to sign everything. They have to read over everything.
Right.
They need to micromanage people. And I've seen people that are doing $50 million in revenue, but they're the only owner, and they are the bottleneck to their own growth and success.
Do you see that, like, for instance, I work with business owners too, and they go to sell the business, and it's not valued.
They can't sell it.
They can't sell
They
it.
can't sell it.
Period.
So you know where the whole class came from?
Yeah.
I was the opening keynote at something called the Exit Planning Institute.
Yeah.
This is all lawyers and CPAs who specialize in exit planning, selling your company.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, why do all the lawyers and CPAs need me to come teach them? And they're like, because they've never bought or sold a company.
Right.
And you've done it a whole bunch
They
of times.
sell professional services. They know their craft.
They specialize in getting it ready, but they don't know how to think, how a buyer or the seller thinks.
Right.
So they brought me in, and it was such a revelation to me that these business owners and all these professionals. You know, I went to 1 year of junior college, so I look at it and I go, how can I have been doing this for all these 30 years and these guys don't know it? This freaked me out. And so I thought, well, maybe I should teach a class, and we had a huge response. And now we've, when you put a price on something, the fans go down.
Yes.
However, we've taken companies that were 2 or 3 million in revenue up to almost 100 million in revenue, from 4 or 5 employees to 1,600 employees, and taught them the principles that have given the owner their freedom back.
So to relate it to what we do, because obviously we manage money and we do finance, what do you advise these people, like when they start coming into money, let's talk about the liability piece is where I'm going. When they
okay.
start coming into money, obviously somebody like me can manage it for them or help them make the right decisions.
Sure.
But the liability piece,
How do you
they can
keep from
lose
losing it?
everything. How do you keep from losing
Yeah,
it?
well, what you always want to do is figure out what's your tolerance for risk,
Okay.
and then
We
create.
talk about that all the time.
Yeah, okay, and then how many buckets are you willing to create to separate chunks of your wealth?
Okay.
So in other words, if you're a real estate investor, and you have a 8-unit apartment building, and you own it outright,
Okay.
right? And so let's say that's let's say it's a $4 million asset, $5 million asset for fun, right?
Good. For
So
fun.
and you own it outright, a lot of equity.
Okay.
And then you have,
You own it or your business owns it?
well, but I'm saying it's owned outright.
Okay.
Okay, and so you might want to put that in a separate entity, like an LLC,
Or a whole
and then
company,
maybe
something like that.
and maybe you have 10 other buildings, but you've got minimum down on those. You have almost no equity in those. That maybe all of those are in one bucket,
Right? Okay.
but the free and clear one's in another bucket, because you don't want to lose all that equity. What's your tolerance for risk? One of my clients that's in real estate, they have about 100 homes at some place from dirt to being sold
Okay.
at any given minute.
I mean, any different types of real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's mostly houses. They're the largest infill builder.
But all different stages.
Yes. So they're dirt to being framed to being ready to be sold. They concluded that those 100 units, if they had 7 separate LLCs,
Okay.
that would be a good kind of a split of the risk. They've divided the risk up between 7 places. So worst case scenario, they lose everything here. They don't lose everything there. It's sort of like the ski resorts. You know, when you go up snow skiing and you get on the chairlift.
I'm not very good at it.
Well, the chairlifts are almost always in separate corporations.
Oh my gosh, really?
Than the resort.
Because of liability?
Because if somebody falls off the chairlift, they don't want to lose the whole resort.
Oh my goodness, this is awesome information. Are you gathering this? Because this is amazing information too. Because even if you separate it though,
yeah.
How do you make sure they can't pierce the corporate veil, that it's not you?
Sure, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Right.
So the idea is almost all of the 11 million corporations and LLCs in the United States, almost all of them have 1 or 2 owners. So it's like either I start something or we start something or my wife and I start something, right? But it's usually 1 or 2 owners. They've put their own money in. They're not getting outside equity investors. And they are the board of directors. Right. And in their mind, it's just their business.
But it's their funds, it's their decisions.
Well, they don't think of themselves as the shareholder, and they certainly don't think of themselves as the board of directors. And they might have a card that says president, but they don't really think of themselves as an officer. They think of themselves as just, this is my business.
As the business owner.
I'm an owner.
Yeah.
And so against that backdrop, they don't follow the rules that the government has laid out, the laws.
Right.
Like holding regular board meetings. Why would I have a board meeting with myself, like alone? Why would I take roll and write it down in a book? That's
to reflect upon your own decisions.
It feels schizophrenic to do it. But the point is, the law says you have to do it, but over 90% of the businesses out there, probably closer to 95, are not doing it. And so
you think it's that much percentage-wise, or you know it is?
Virtually everyone that I meet speaking at events every week around the world, well, let's just say in the country for this particular thing, I get in front of, I must get in front of 30,000 entrepreneurs a year. Everyone that I meet that's a closely held company, 1 or 2 owners, says, well, you know, we sort of did it at the beginning and then we kind of fell out of habit. And I thought, you've never done it ever in your life. And if you look at the corporate book, they've never done it. Consequently, small businesses...
The corporate book is a good resource to look
Most of them don't even have a corporate book.
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
Well, there's a company called the corporate book that sends you minutes book, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and we, if you're my client, we do too. Right. But the point is, almost all lawsuits and almost all audits are against small companies because the adversary, whether it's the IRS, your state taxing authority, or somebody that wants to get your money, they all know small companies are the most at risk because they don't follow the rules, they have no corporate veil, they don't keep receipts, and they don't have any documents to defend their deductions. And so they're just
wait until they get in trouble to react.
Yeah, and then they come back
and then it's too late.
They come back to somebody like me, and it's what I call it.
Aaron, help me fix it.
Event driven. They've had a horrible event, and they can never afford to have that happen again. And they're like, oh, you know, we totally screwed up. We weren't ready, and we got creamed, and now we never can let that happen again. And so, as much as we love to be the ones to come in and show them the right way to do it, the goal today here at City Summit is to teach these several hundred people.
A lot of entrepreneurs in the room.
Oh, a lot of entrepreneurs to say, here, look, you can get out in front of this. Yeah. It's super easy. If you want somebody else to do it, it's inexpensive. And if you do it, the rules will always protect you. If you follow the law will protect you. If you don't, if you ignore it because you're too busy, then you're just going to be flapping in the wind until you come back to me as that event-driven person with the blood and scars all over you and saying, please help me fix this and never let it happen.
That's so funny that you say, let the rules protect you, because so many people look at the rules and say, that's what hinders me.
Now, yeah, well, that's because
You say rules protect you.
Entrepreneurs hate lawyers. Entrepreneurs hate rules. Entrepreneurs hate regulations. They just want to go make another
compliance. I don't like compliance.
Have everybody do their thing. Yeah, they don't want to be compliant.
Well, because my compliance people are not. It's not logic. It's not common sense. So I follow the rules.
It seems silly, but the rules are set up to protect us. And if you don't have to do it all. I mean, the reason our company exists for 46 years because we do it for tens of thousands of people, right? And when you can do something for somebody for hundreds of dollars a year that will utterly save their business, that will save them from huge penalties and fees if they get audited and all this stuff. If you just know the rules and follow them, either do it yourself or hire somebody to do it. I mean, my gosh, delegate the stuff that you don't know about to somebody else and stay focused on your genius. That's how you get rich.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to end with that. That was really cool. Can you tell people where to find you? Well, I'm going to put your information on my website, novawealthmanagement.com. But do you have social media?
Well, you get Aaron,
2018.
So my name is Aaron, Aaron, Aaron Scott Young.
Yeah.
If you go LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Aaron Scott Young is everywhere. AaronScottYoung.com, Aaron Scott Young, every place, LinkedIn,
Yes.
everywhere, including Aaron at Aaron Scott Young. I'm super easy to find if you know my name.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this with me. This was amazing. We're going to post the takeaways from this too. Have an awesome day. Thank you. See you later. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Can I interview you real quick?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is crazy because
camera are we on?
we're right here.
Okay.
This is great because I am not media. I am one of the corporate sponsors.
Okay, perfect.
So I ask different questions about business because I'm a business owner.
I love it.
Okay?
Okay.
So I have a podcast, the Nova Wealth Show.
Right.
And we go on the Wooditch Network, and our whole goal is to help people not only grow their business, but we're financial advisors, so to do
Yes.
the right things with their money.
Okay, cool.
So one of the big things that I would love to take away from you, by the way, Brian Smith, co-founder of UGG Boots, has an awesome story, and I'm going to have you tell everybody where they can find you and your
Okay.
awesome story.
Okay.
Probably Google is
Right.
the easiest place. But what can business owners do when they finally start to come in the money? How do they know, and you're a great person to ask,
Right.
when to put the money back into the business to expand
Right.
the business, or when to finally invest for their later self?
Okay, I was never good at it during the entire course of the UGG business because I was always all in, and
all in.
UGG was doubling every year. So the financial demands to buy inventory to cope
Yeah,
with that
to keep
sales.
up. You're always,
when
in the
when
hole,
it was
right?
1 million, it was fine. 2-3 million, it was fine. But when it got to 15 million, it was like, where the hell do I find the money to do that?
Oh my gosh.
And so that was.
Did you have to get a lot of financing? How do you keep up with that?
I did. In fact, it got so big that was the main reason I sold the company.
Oh wow, really?
Because I had a buddy who'd taken his company public in the sandal business, and he died every winter and we died every summer.
Right.
And so it just made so much sense to put it together. And then I had free cash, right, for the first time.
Because you had that liquidation event,
because
right?
in 18 years, every single cent I had was plowed back into the business.
So then how do you know what to do with the money? Do you just hook up with the right professionals? Do you, because your whole life you've just been putting the money back in your business?
Yeah, I did. I did the whole pie chart thing and put money in and safety and non-risk. But I was such an entrepreneur, I destroyed that model very fast.
You did? So do you put money into another
I started
company?
pulling it out of investments and putting it into. I started
Other
a
companies.
whole new company and got invested in the lightweight concrete business.
Oh my
And
gosh.
built a huge company
How'd you
in
go
that.
from boots to concrete?
I don't know. My dad was a contractor, so I sort of understood it. But and then I put all in again. Which is something looking back I regret. I should have had a certain amount that I'm going to live on for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So that's something that people can take away, that you should always have a little bit that you set aside.
Always put it aside for just to live off the income, and I could have done that. I could have lived the rest of my life off interest,
Oh, wow.
But being an entrepreneur, the desire
want that
to
next
build another one, then this one's going to be as big as UGG,
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the recession, it probably would have been, but we got wiped out. So, that's the life of the entrepreneur. Yeah.
So when you're speaking and you're talking to so many different types of businesses, there's businesses that sell a service,
Yes.
like professional services and their expertise, but then there's also other businesses that sell product.
Products, yes.
What would you say in all the time that you've worked with different businesses? What's the differentiator between businesses that sell a product and businesses that sell a service? How can you be successful?
Well, used to be selling a service before the internet was time versus money. Time equals money.
Right.
But now with the internet and you can put programs out there that are service programs, that are
Right.
teaching programs and helping
Kind of turn
people.
it into a product.
Yes, that becomes now a product. So it's a sort of a gray area between service and product.
That's so true.
And but service is nearly always like a lawyer, accountant. It's nearly always time for money. And that's what I avoid like the plague. I work with a client now who's got a lamb leather sash bag, and it's like it's so sexy and exciting for me. Again, it's like Ugg boots all over again, and it's called thesashbag.com. And it's going to be the next.
I might get myself one of those.
It's going to be the next fanny pack. It's that big. It's and so unique. And we did like 3 million in sales last year. And it's going to.
So are you you're mentoring these?
I'm a mentor and also a part owner of the business.
Wonderful.
And so I've got more sort of juice going on that.
How do you choose which business you go into?
I'm very, very picky. I've in probably 5 years of looking at businesses, I've only taken on 2 clients.
Really?
They have to be. I have to be in love. The minute I saw the product and felt it, I just went, oh my God! I know where she is. I know where she should be, and I've been through the horrific, the horrific parts of building the thing. So that really gets me going.
That's so exciting. I'm so excited for you because we'll post that on our website and everything. But as far as online goes and social media goes, you mentioned it's changed everything.
It really has, yeah.
I mean, the question I would have for you is, where do you think people should focus their efforts when they're trying to take their business to the next level? I mean, should they focus on just Facebook? Should they have one of a little bit of everything? What have you seen that works?
I don't know enough about the different platforms. Yeah.
Hire somebody, hire a social media expert.
In '95, we just put computers on the desks of everyone at the UGG office. Yeah. And I walked by my secretary's office and I said, Nikki, take down this letter, because she did shorthand. Yeah. And as I was walking away, she said, Brian, you can do this yourself now. And I said, what do you mean? And she says, well, we have emails now. And I said to her,
no, walk the letter.
I said to her, Nikki, I'll never need to learn emails. I've got you.
Aww,
right?
Human capital.
And that shows how ignorant I was about emails. So now, fast forward to social media, I can either say, no, I'll never need to learn it, or if I do that, I'll become a dinosaur. So now I'm forcing myself to learn all the different avenues of social
without social media, how did you get UGG boots? You mentioned when you spoke, because I saw you speak at a couple of different places now, but when you speak, you talk about how you were denied several times. So how do you get a product that you truly believe in to the next level, especially without social media?
Yeah, the principles of marketing haven't changed, even though the methodology has with the internet. But that we used to do it with mail-out brochures and flyers, and everything was paper and manual. Even taking photographs and putting an ad together, you had to do 4-color film separations, and then you had to hand paste all the typesetting in. That was, now on a computer you do it in an idiot can do it and build a website in a weekend. And so but the principle hasn't changed, just the methodology has. So.
The principle of just showing what your passion is about. What other principles do you what are the basics of marketing to get that company up and running?
Number one is love your product, position it properly. Never sell your product, sell the emotion or sell the feeling or what the benefit is to the consumer, and then follow through with incredible customer service. That if you can do that, you got a winner.
That's the formula.
And that's hard to do, the customer service bit online. And any company that doesn't do it is going to fail eventually.
Oh my gosh, this is so great. So my final question, and then we'll wrap it up. So people in services, people like myself, so financial advisor, realtor, there's a lot of business coaches in the room. Yeah. How do we earn people's business, people like you? What do you look for when you're hiring professionals? To all the professionals out there, what do you look for when you work with someone?
Validation. We're about to hire a new accounting team for the SASH business. Yeah. We're interviewing next week, but like Ken said on stage this morning, it's validation. Who have they worked with that I respect, that says they're good? Wow. Because that, more than any other thing, they can bullshit to me all day across the desk, but if I know people who they've worked with, I'll trust that way above what they tell me. Yeah.
It's Awesome. Thank you, Brian, so much. Brian Smith, founder of UGG Boots. I am so happy that I got to interview you. Thank you so much. We're going to post all the information. What was the website again? The Sash?
Well, that one's thesashbag.com.
Thesashbag, and then where else can
and
people
my
find
speaking
you?
my speaking website is uggfounder, uggfounder.com.
Okay, .com. Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later, too.